Okay, hi guys, and welcome to today's show. Today we have an absolute chock-a-block, jam-packed episode. Lots of great stuff coming up. So we've got my first impressions of a Vostok. My good friend Jeremy has sent in a Vostok for review. Long overdue. I know a lot of you have been requesting it for for about a year. So finally we've got a Vostok in. Also we're going to review the ball Master, what is it? Engineer Master 2 SkinDiver, the first generation. And what else have we got? What else? There was something else. Oh yes, how could I forget? Some of the best rubber straps for your Seiko SKX and your Seiko Sumo from Craft Blue, this new company that just contacted me. These are perfect for the summer, really incredible straps. So all of that coming up. Let's roll the intro and get into this video. Okay, welcome back guys. So quite a lot to get through today, so I'm going to try and make this short and sweet. I'll do a quick wristwatch check. Of course I've got my trusty SKX 009 because I've got these fantastic new straps. And guys, I've got to be honest, I've done a whole bunch of rubber strap reviews, everything from really entry affordable to high-end kind of luxury rubber straps, and I looked at all the pros and cons. And to be honest, when Craft Blue contacted me, I wasn't that excited. But I've got to tell you guys, since I've got these, this is just probably the best rubber strap I've had so far. I think even better than the Marathons. I think these take the crown. So let's start with that first, and then we'll come back and we'll look at some Vostoks and of course the SkinDiver. Today we are going to be looking at these fantastic rubber straps from Craft Blue. Now I was sent two of their models. Well, actually I was sent four in total. They have two main types of rubber strap, a variety of colors, which we'll get into in just a moment. Now they specialize in doing rubber straps specifically for Seiko. The sizes and style, one particular one which I'll show you, this is the CB02, and this is designed specifically for the Seiko Sumo, which you see here, which is a really outstanding dive watch from Seiko, of course. In fact, I haven't actually reviewed this one, and they were very kind enough to lend one in so I could show you their straps, and they are absolutely amazing. Now I must be honest, when they first contacted me, I've done a ton of strap videos. You can actually, I'll leave a link down below. I had a whole selection, different types of rubber, different brands, a really wide selection I did. I think it was last summer, because you know rubber straps are great for the summer, especially if you're going to the beach. You can swim in them, you don't have to worry about them. They're more comfortable in the heat, in sticky conditions, especially if you're not into the NATOs and you don't want to wear your bracelet. You want something a little bit lighter, a little bit more comfortable. You know, you really shouldn't wear leather in hot climates as well. Then rubber is the way to go, especially for dive watches. It's just so comfortable. Anyway, I did a video, as I was saying, last year, and I looked at all the different types of rubber, all the different properties. They behave in different ways. So when Craft Blue contacted me, I got to be honest, I was kind of like, well, you know, I've done it. What could they possibly bring to the table that I haven't seen before? But I've got to say, guys, I was really blown away by the design and just the attention to detail. They say here, the ultimate diving strap, and God, I hate to say it, it's probably true. Like I said, it's a small company. They've only got two styles out at the moment, and they are aimed specifically for the Seikos. This is the CB02, which is comes in three colors. It also comes in a blue, but unfortunately they didn't send me that. It's pure vulcanized rubber, together with a stainless steel tang, buckle and keeper. We see here on the curve where they attach to the watch case This is designed specifically for the case of the Sumo. Beautiful texture on the back, just it grips the wrist much more efficiently, so it doesn't slide around. And what I love is the actual holes for the tongue of the buckle are done really close together, so you can get a fantastic fit. Now these are about 205 millimeters long. Thickness at the lug is about 7.4 millimeters, and then they taper down to about 3.5 here. They fit wrists up to 250 millimeters. Now the buckle is of course 316L stainless steel, of course, signed Crofter Blue there, just beautifully done. I love these flat tongues there. It's just really cool. But most importantly, it's how they wear. It really is how they wear. In a moment I'll put on the one for the SKX. This particular watch is a little bit too big for me, that's why I haven't really reviewed it. I mean, it's an outstanding piece, and perhaps maybe if I have time I'll try and review it before I have to send this back. So there's two main types. So that was the CB02, and that retails about $63. I think it's worth absolutely every penny. And as I said, it comes in 3 colors. We've got 2 of them here. Now they also do another strap. This is called the CB001, which you can see there, and this is kind of even lighter because we have these racing strap style holes in the actual strap itself, and as you see, it hasn't got the curved end. These are 22 millimeters. Now this is a universal, they call this the universal strap, so it comes in this time only 2 colors, and it's perfect for the Seiko SKX because obviously the Seiko SKX has 22 millimeter lug width there. Again, pure vulcanized rubber with the steel tang buckle and keeper, and this meets the ROHS standard. It's non-toxic. These are all non-toxic, non-marking, non-allergen, so I should state that for both of them, of course. Really beautifully made, and this is possibly my favorite, obviously, because I'm a big fan of the SKX. So let's just pop it on the wrists. I'll show you how it looks. So there we go. Now as you can see, the hole for the tongue here being so close together, really you get a really comfortable fit. It's very light. Obviously, being rubber, it's just perfect for the summer. Absolutely perfect. I think these are some of the best rubber straps I've seen so far, and I love the way that the loop, you can push it all the way to the end and get a really comfortable fit. Outstanding, absolutely outstanding. I'm definitely going to be wearing this in the summer. I think it's going to be my go-to strap for my SKX. As I said, the universal strap version, this is the CB01. This is a little bit more affordable at $46. I can't recommend it enough. I'll leave a link down below. These again are about 205 millimeters in total length, 22 millimeter lug width. They taper from about 5.5 millimeters down to 3.5 at the end there. Again, the same quality as stainless steel, beautifully brushed, and I love it says professional there, just a little bit of class there, you know, just for your professional diving watch. The styling is a little bit kind of 70s-esque with those cutouts, but I think it's very cool. I wish they came in, this particular one came in a blue as well, like the CB01. You also get warranty cards on all of your straps. It's a 12-month warranty cards, and as you see there, you proves that the product information has been stored in our records, so it's all covered, which I think is really cool. It's just a little bit extra quality, and also they come in these bags like this. Let me just show you. They come in these little bags. You get a pair of extra spring bars. I love the attention to detail. There's the website. Very cool indeed. Anyway guys, I'll leave all the links down below. Absolutely outstanding. Thank you guys, and just give you a quick shot of it on the Sumo here. Gotta say, I really like the Sumo. It's beautifully done. It's just a shame it's so huge. Look how big it is compared to the Seiko. Just a shame, because if they had a smaller version, I'd definitely buy it for a review. Anyway guys, let's take it back to the studio. So that was the rubber straps. Let's move on now to the SkinDiver from Ball. I think this is an amazing timepiece. Certainly has some strong points, a few weaknesses in there, but let's have a look at the review of that right now. Today we are reviewing the Ball Engineer Master 2. This is the SkinDiver. This is the first generation of the SkinDiver. It's since been replaced in 2015. The SkinDiver 2 was released. This particular one has been phased out of production. This is the original SkinDiver. In a moment we'll go through the differences, but actually I tend to prefer this one. I wanted to review this one first, especially as they're not making it anymore. It's going to be quite difficult to get my hands on one, and also it's a slightly smaller size, so definitely more fitting to my particular taste. Those of you unfamiliar with the Ball brand, I reviewed one a little while ago. I reviewed one of their Rail Masters, absolutely gorgeous piece, really impressive brand. They were founded in 1891. They're actually an American company from Ohio. They have quite a rich heritage, especially with the railroads, and being the what's called the RR, the Railroad Standard Timekeepers for the United States, which is quite a prestigious thing. I actually went into the history of the company in that previous video. I'll leave a link down below in the description. It's an amazing overlooked brand with a rich heritage. They've since moved to Switzerland. They're entirely Swiss made, fantastic quality. So if you want to find out more, I do recommend you check out that video. I've always wanted to get my hands on this particular watch. This is of course the original SkinDiver. We'll go through the dimensions first, and I must say guys, I have got sellotape on the end of the caliper, so please don't worry. With a diameter of 40 millimeters, a height of 14.5, lug to lug we're looking at 50 there, lug width we're looking at 20. So even though being quite tall, now this has got to do with its quite high water resistance rating, 1,000 feet, 300 meters. That kind of explains why the case is quite big. Having said that, because of these beautiful curved lugs, it sits quite handsomely. We'll do a wrist shot in just a moment. First thing you'll notice about this particular watch is its styling. There's no doubt about it. It is very similar to the 60s Omega 300, and that is not a bad thing. In many ways, a lot of people think those are the best divers that Omega produced, but it's still got its own character, and this is a day date. Quite unusual that it's split apart. I must say I didn't notice at first, but then it's different. I haven't actually seen a watch personally with this particular setup. Actually, that's not true. The Sniper had a similar day date layout, but it's different. You almost don't notice it. I think it would have been nice to have them both side by side. It does kind of break up the dial a little bit, but it's actually not that noticeable. So let's have a closer look at that beautiful dial. It's got a kind of matte black dial there. There's a little bit of gloss to it, but it's definitely matted. We have that beautiful red second hand going around with the RR, the railroad logo that they're so famous for, as a counterbalance. Beautifully done. I really like that purple color. We have those thick tritium markers going around with minute markers, numerals, and a nice quite long minute track running around the outside. The date and days obviously in white, and we have tritium on the hands. Now there is actually, this is a ceramic bezel with luminescence in the inlay of the numerals, so that's pretty cool. Very much like the Omega. The bezel itself, it's 120 click. It's unidirectional. It feels incredibly sturdy. We've got this lovely kind of cog style, but it's actually every so often you got a little gap, just for some variation. No play on that bezel whatsoever, so done incredibly well. The case itself, we have these beautiful beveled edges with just a little bit of high polish running down that beveled edge there, and then matted finish on the sides. The RR again on the side crown, screw down crown obviously. It really comes alive on the back. We have this beautiful, I've never seen an engraving like it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it looks like the diver is literally popping out the it's beautiful to feel. It's really three-dimensional, deep engraving there. Official RR standard, railroad standard since 1891. As indicated there, we got tritium illumination. So let's actually have a quick look at the loom. Tritium, as I've explained before, I think it goes for about 25 years. It's a very faintly kind of radioactive form of luminescent. It's always going, it doesn't fade, which obviously has an advantage to it. I really liked it. I especially liked it on my marathon. So let's just quickly change to a loom shot. Okay guys, here we are having a look at the loom shot. Now obviously the bezel is a lot brighter because it's got just standard luminova in it, but that fades and the tritium just keeps on going. Now the tritium is in different colors, which is really nice because you can differentiate between the markers and the hands easier, and also the 12 o'clock is in a different color as well, which I think is really cool because it just differentiates. Again, you always know where 12 o'clock is. Anyway, let's take it back to the studio. So let's discuss this beautiful bracelet. This is definitely one of my favorite aspects of it. As you see, screws for the links, which is fantastic. Just a little indicator of how much quality has gone into this bracelet. It's one of my favorite bracelets. It's got a really nice kind of flexibility, but rigid. It's not too over flexible, but yet the motion to it, you really get a comfortable fit with this. It's one of the best kind of mesh style bracelet. It's not technically, it's not mesh, I guess. It's still links, but I think it really suits the whole 60s-esque aesthetic very well, and how the end links, just solid by the way, meets the case is done impeccably well. God, this would look good on a NATO, but for you guys, I'm not going to put it on a NATO because you always say that you want to see the original bracelets, and I got to say this is one of the best bracelets I've seen. The only let down a little bit is the clasp. It's a fairly standard clasp with a little fold over there, nicely engraved, but I think at this kind of price level, obviously little micro adjustments there, but I think at this price level, you know, you don't want a push button or something a little bit more kind of involved. It feels a bit cheap. They've gone to such trouble with the beautiful finishing of the case, which is really first class. The polishing, you know, with ball you really do get, I mean, it puts some Omegas to, well, it puts a lot of Omegas to shame, I must say. It's at that level, if not superior. But then, you know, they got this rather disappointing clasp, and also it doesn't taper. It's a real shame it doesn't taper. I love a nice tapered bracelet. I guess it's preference at the end of the day. It keeps the weight down, it's more comfortable. Also, it's a more of a refined look. But these are very minor things. The back is obviously screwed down, if I forgot to mention. And of course, we have a screw down crown. Undo the crown, which is really solidly done. Change the time there. Obviously it's hackable, so I'm just going to move it forward a little bit. Let's discuss the movement. Ball called this movement the RR1102, which is basically a modified rebranded ETA 2836-2. Operates at 28,800. Got a power reserve of 38 hours. It's a decent movement. It's robust, affordable to service, all the rest of it. However, the new SkinDiver 2 comes with a COSC certified version, which is obviously vastly superior in accuracy to this particular one, but I gotta say it's performing very, very well. But also there are some hidden extras in this watch which I really think are cool. Apart from this ceramic inlay to the bezel, which is a nice touch, it actually has anti-magnetic properties to 4,800 amperes. It's also got shock resistance to about 5,000 Gs. So they have modified the movement quite a bit. It's not just, they haven't just plopped in a standard ETA and put a custom rotor or whatever. They've actually upgraded it quite a bit and added shock protection,
and a kind of I'm not sure, I don't think it's a Faraday cage in there, but somehow they've made it more anti-magnetic, which I think is a really cool thing. We got an anti-reflective convex sapphire crystal there, which is very slightly dulled. I mean, I hardly noticed it. It sits absolutely beautifully with the bezel. I gotta say, I love this bezel. Juts out a little bit, so it has the appearance of being a larger watch than it actually is, but the case is a little bit smaller. Anyway, let's do a quick wrist shot. Okay, so there we go. And as you can see, it has a heft to it, but with that bracelet, it sits very comfortably. My only problem is it's a tall one. It's a shame it's a bit thinner, would have been really nice. But I understand, you know, it would have undermined its water resistance. It feels like a more sturdy version of the Omega 300 I reviewed not so long ago, and in fact the quality's better, and you know, I'm probably going to catch a little bit of flack for that, but it's the truth. This watch certainly feels more luxurious. I mean, but you've got to understand, the Omega's from the 60s, this is from 2012, so you've got all the modern technology. I would have preferred, had they made this case a little bit thinner, maybe, you know, sacrifice some of that water protection. You really don't need a 300-meter diver. I think 200 meters would have been absolutely perfect. Very masculine. I love its bold design. It's its own thing without being it's certainly not a homage. It's got its own little quirky characteristics. I love the tritium lume. I think it's certainly one of my favorite types of luminescence. I love the different colors in the lume. Bracelet is absolutely outstanding and very comfortable. It just wraps around the wrist, and actually the curve of the watch sits quite comfortably. Anyway, let's take it off and give my final thoughts. I love its retro styling, but yet with all the modernity, all the upgrades with ceramic and tritium. Gorgeous. Few downfalls, a bit of a corner cut with the clasp. Also the strange day date setup. It's a bit of an acquired taste. Just have one close look at the dial. But the attention to detail, the quality, absolutely gorgeous. It's something that always impresses me with ball watches, is the finish and general high quality. We're looking at plus 7-8 seconds a day so far, I've found, with this one, and I do love that dial. That it's not exactly a strict matted dial, but there's a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's done impeccably well. It really is. Anyway, fantastic watch. Really glad I got to get my hands on the first generation one. It'll be interesting to see what the new one is like. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there. Let's take it back to the studio.
So the SkinDiver, I think highly overlooked. Certainly my pick compared to the new one. I mean, the new one, they have improved the dial. It's got a really cool sloping chapter ring. Reminds me of the Pelagos a little bit. They've made it larger to 43 millimeters, which makes this more desirable for the smaller wrist and especially people like me. It is COSC certified, the newer one. And they've upgraded the movement, they've improved the water resistance to 500 meters, whereas this is 300 meters. A little bit unnecessary. Honestly, you don't need more than 200 meters. They've also got rid of the date, they've just got the date function. So I think definitely the new one is superior in all fronts, but they've made it too big. At 43 millimeters, it's really pushing it, especially as it's a tall watch. The quality of this is outstanding. There are some little, you know, they could have done with a better clasp, but like I said, bracelet's amazing. I think the construction is amazing. Had this had Omega on the dial instead of ball, it'd be, you know, 4,000 instead of 2,000. The quality is as good as an Omega, if not better. I think ball are highly overlooked. They've got a great heritage. It's a shame that, you know, they haven't got a strong resale value, but if you love this watch as a watch, it's outstanding. It's not going to let you down, you know. It's got some really unique features like that engraving on the back. I think actually this is an affordable alternative to the 300, the Omega 300 from the 60s and 70s. In many ways it's superior, you know, it's got that anti-magnetic protection, the ceramic bezel insert, all the rest of it. I mean, yeah, it has a lot to offer. Anyway guys, it's on sale at Saltzman's. I've got to say a massive thank you to Saltzman's for sending this in. If you mention the Urban Gentry, you get 15% off all watches at Saltzman, so don't forget to do that. I've got to return this to Saltzman. It's going to be sad. I really enjoyed this watch. It's a great piece. It's a great piece. You know, it's not perfect, but you know, it's something that will last you a lifetime, certainly. Anyway, guys, so that was the ball. Let's switch now to an unboxing, the first Vostok on the show. I know you guys have been on at me for over a year to get Vostok on. I was slightly dubious. Also, you know, the list is long, guys. You got to remember the list of watches. There's only one person doing this channel. But finally, we got a Vostok. Massive thank you to my friend Jeremy there for sending it in. So let's change perspectives and have a closer look at the Vostok Amphibia. Of course, I'm going to use my Spyderco that I just recently got given from. Big shout out to my good friend Epic Snuggle Bunny. Check out his channel, and of course he has a fantastic Instagram as well. So, what's this? An Invicta box. Cool box. Have I been sent an Invicta? Alright, let's open it up. Drum roll. That's really cool. That's a pretty cool box. I really like that. Oh, and there it is. There it is. The Vostok. Wow. It's a big piece. I presume that's a 22mm strap. It's going. It's a good sign. So this has obviously been modded. Jeremy's put a very nice bezel on it. Quite an interesting case. I've never seen this case before. Oh wow. Wow, there's no clicks. That's wow. Okay. Is that normal, guys? I've never had a Vostok before, so I'm not sure. Right, so let's unscrew it and have a. Oh, wow. Is that supposed to be that wobbly? Wow, that's really wobbly. So it's not hackable. I'm turning this and it's not changing. Oh, okay, now it's going now. Wow, it feels, oh my god, look at that. I think that's got to be the loosest ground I've ever. Is this normal? Anyway, so it's obviously not hackable. I'm trying to change the time, there we go. How do you change the date? Is there a date set on this? God, I don't know how you change the date. The crown, it's like the top of a water bottle. It's a different way of doing it. Just want to take a look at the back, see if there's anything on there. I want to really look at this case. So, Amphibia, all in Russian. The crown is absolutely awful. I don't know if that's normal. You tell me, guys, if that's normal. The bezel, is it supposed to not click? It's bi-directional, which is a bit surprising for a dive watch. I do like the dial though. The dial is nice. I've heard the loom is pretty terrible. There's it next to the SKX. It's not that big, it's just a bit. Okay, well that's the first Vostok on the show. Thank you, Jeremy. Cool little red hand though. I do like that dial. That is a really cool dial, that little scuba dude. Anyway, so there we go. That's the first Vostok. Let's take it back to the studio. Bit of a mixed feelings there. Yeah, its quality is not that good, but it is a very affordable watch, obviously. God, it's going to be interesting to review, certainly. It's also, I'm dying to see how accurate or inaccurate, so to speak, it is. It's got a gorgeous dial. I love that blue, the little scuba dude. It is very, very, it's got, certainly has its own character, a heritage of its own. Not something that, you know, a newbie to watch collecting is necessarily going to know about. But I have to check it out. It's long overdue. So it was about time I did. Anyway, guys, stay tuned for the full review. So much coming up this week. We've got the IWC Portuguese coming soon. What else? Tudor, we're going to revisit Tudor. I'm possibly considering buying a Black Bay. You guys in the Facebook group would have seen that poll. If you haven't voted, please do. I really like to hear everybody's input, because I will be featuring that in a future video. Lots of reviews, lots more coming up, you know, onwards and upwards as always. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, found it useful. It really does help me, so please don't forget to do that. And as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao.